Hello and welcome. I'm Lloyd and this is the Dressing Gown Diary. We start off with a review of round 4 of the 2016 Six Nations and then we wrap up with what's happening at this weekend, closing out the 2016 Six Nations. So let's start off with things. It all kicked off last weekend in an epic weekend of expansive running rugby with a superb game that took place in Dublin. Ireland suddenly discovered the joys of the game. They attacked with verve, they attacked with pace, they were accurate. They scored one of the tries of the Six Nations with Heaslip finishing a move that started in the Irish 22 as they really put Italy to the sword. Now, what do we learn from Ireland? I mean, this was a game that Ireland were always going to go hard at. They were always going to see what was going on, try and score a lot of points, prove to the Irish crowd that they are actually a good rugby team. And they did everything right. They moved the ball quickly. They got away from the contact zone. They offloaded. It was a very, very strong Irish performance. There were a couple of things that I was impressed with, though. Italy as well, late on, when Lucchesi came on at scrum half. He showed a lot of the Six Nations team what a scrum half is about. He got the ball off the deck quickly, moved it away, and suddenly Italy injected some pace. Admittedly, Ireland had a lot of points on the board, so they were a bit tired, and you're thinking, well, can I be bothered to chase that? But he showed what a scrum half should be. You know, Wales and England have both got the same problem. They've got scrum halves that think it's all about running through gaps, trying to keep defences honest, and their passing can be loose. You know, you look at the England game, Ben Young's pass to George Ford resulted in a charge down kick. It was a loose pass, but more on that in a second. So well done to Ireland. It was a great performance. They got everything they deserved. Italy showed a bit of fight late on, but certainly I think they'll be up against it to avoid a whitewash this weekend. Twickenham, the big game at Twickenham. Well, I don't know about you guys, but where were Wales for the first 40 minutes? It was an appalling performance. No one showed up. Yes, England did play well. Yes, they played with passion. Yes, they played with pace. But also, let's not get away from the fact that they butchered 3 opportunities that any of the Southern Hemisphere teams would have executed. Wales were lucky to go in at half-time 16-0 down. With that kind of performance, I'd expect a team to put 30 or 40 points on. So yes, England did well, but they're nowhere near the finished article yet. What happened late on? Suddenly, England tightened up as they did against Wales in the World Cup group game as well. When they felt the finishing line was coming close, they suddenly tightened up. Game plan went. There's controversy with the TMO about eye gouging, about Gypsy Boy, about whether tries were tries. At the end of the day, the TMO is there to give decisions that he can see. Yes, there was a drive over the line, but if you can't see the ball grounded, you can't give it. Those are now the rules. 20 years ago, we'd fully accept that Dan Cole was over the line. He's probably got it down. Try. But that's not the rules these days. I do have an issue with Marler, forearm straight in the face of Rob Evans, and also the issue with the Gypsy Boy chant. It's not good, and World Rugby are going to have a look at it, because I don't think there's any place in the game for that kind of abuse. But England, I mean, what they've uncovered though with Itoje is an amazing player. Literally, he was the difference between the two teams. There's nothing that guy can't do. He stole lineouts. He snagged scrum halves. He secured turnover ball. He brushed off players and created the try. In fact, the try that England scored came from his play. Everything the backs did prior to that and after it didn't really create opportunities that could have been executed. And what about Wales? Where do you go from this? You know, the pace of the game changed massively as soon as Rhys Webb and Rhys Priestland came on the pitch. Now, Dan Biggar has been the incumbent for a long time at 10, but perhaps he's playing too deep. Perhaps he's not attacking enough, or perhaps that is the way that the Welsh management want him to play. But it certainly raised a lot of questions. And has Sam Warburton had a good tournament when he came off? Pip Tippett came on. And of course, there's a controversy at the end. Was North out, wasn't he? At the end of the day, it didn't really influence the result of the game, because I think Wales deserved to lose that. But anyone that followed Freddie's flutter will, of course, know that Freddie did say back Wales with the handicap of +5.5, which, of course, came in with a late flurry of tries. Then moving on to the final game of the weekend, it all happened for Scotland. Suddenly, everything clicked. All of the cobwebs had bust off with a victory against Italy the week before or 2 weeks before, and they discovered how to play. They look very dangerous going forward. Admittedly, they have frailties around the edges, and you do think that Scotland will concede tries if a team really puts them under pressure. but they have the ability to open sides up. They have the ability to execute opportunities. Certainly, quick tap penalty, go. Clever running from the runners on the inside, doing nothing illegal because they are supporting the player with the ball, but they're just making it very, very hard for the guy chasing to tackle. It's nothing illegal because you can run in a line. And certainly Stuart Hogg with a great bit of individual skill, knocking it back for Visser to go over in the corner. Scotland got everything they deserved. France are again a poor side. You're never going to run away with massive points against France because defensively they're quite strong. But they just look so devoid of ideas going forward. They don't really know where they are. And, can they come up trumps? So let's move on to the games at this weekend. Well, we start off with a game in the Principality Stadium, Wales against Italy. Everyone's expecting Wales to pump Italy. Italy have shown very little in this tournament, and certainly the way Ireland started against them last weekend shows that if you go hard, play expansive games, stretch their forwards, there'll be gaps all over the place late on. So I think we should be expecting to see a similar game plan from Wales today. They'll be hoping to take the shackles off, score some points, play perhaps a slightly more expansive game. The second game of the weekend is an interesting one, Ireland against Scotland. And now, at the beginning of the tournament, Scotland would have looked at this and gone, well, we've got no chance. Whereas actually now, the way they've played and the way Ireland have played up until last weekend, they really have a chance of a massive scalp. A win in Dublin for Scotland will be absolutely monumental. What do I think is going to happen? It is a really tough one to call. I think Ireland will edge this, but I think Scotland will push them mightily close. Now, unfortunately, it's come to the time of the day where I have to talk about the last game of the weekend. Now, most of you Dressing Gown Diary fans will also, those with English persuasion, will think that this is a Grand Slam march. Now, is it? France are poor. France are really poor. If England can't get over the line here, this will go down as one of the worst Grand Slam losses on last day that they can remember. Certainly, you look over some of the losses in Edinburgh in rainy conditions with Scott Gibbs scoring a last-minute try at Wembley. You look at Ireland, what happened. You look at what happened 3 years ago in Cardiff where England showed up ready for the Grand Slam and then got sent back over the Severn Bridge 33. Can they do it? Of course they can. If they play a solid game, I'm not expecting to see anything expansive. As I said, France are a solid defensive unit and they will take some breaking down, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. England, if they show some accuracy, which unfortunately against Wales was missing at times, there should be no reason to think that any other result is possible other than the Grand Slam. That's what my head says. My heart obviously prays to the love of God, France somehow find a way. I don't care if it's charge down kicks. I don't care if it's knock-ons all over the place, forward passes. Just find a way to win the match. There's only 40 million Englishmen that want this result. The rest of the world want France to somehow find it. But anyway, that's me, the Dressing Gown Diary, over and out. Enjoy your 6 hours of rugby on an epic final Saturday. Thank you very much.